So yes, it's that time. Updated 2019 NFL mock draft. Yeehaw and all that jazz. You can check out the picks in the description box down below. For those of you that don't watch the video and then look at the description box for the picks, it still counts as a video view. And screw you. Anyways, I think last time I promised you this one would be 2-round. That was a lie. The next one probably will be. Too bad, so sad. My bad. When we look at this particular mock draft, some of the teams are starting to come into shape in terms of who their head coach is, which could potentially impact philosophy, maybe not. Not really that sure at this present time. This one, again, I've got Quinnen Williams going 1 to Arizona, Bosa going 2 to San Francisco, Josh Allen going 3 to the Jets. If I recall correctly, that's not a change from the last mock. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Now, with this particular mock draft, this is the first mock draft I've done since the early entry deadline has come and gone, which means we know who has declared for the 2019 draft and who has not. And that brings me to pick number 4, the Oakland Raiders. What an ultimate troll job that would be by the Raiders to take Kyler Murray from Oklahoma away from the A's, and then in a year or two take his ass with him to Vegas. That'd be like the ultimate F you on the way out troll job for the Raiders. You want to talk about heel heat, is that they couldn't get any more. Here's some more for you. Now, I don't know if Kyler Murray is the number 1 quarterback in this draft class yet or not. Nor do I know that a quarterback who is hovering around 5'9" is going to be a guy that teams are going to be clamoring to spend a top 10 or even a top 5 pick on. That said, I look at the Raiders and their situation specifically. You've got a coach that clearly has torn this whole thing down with the premise of wanting to rebuild it. You've got a new general manager, that Mike Mayock, that is going to want to put his own stamp on things. What doesn't make sense in this whole equation for a rebuilding team is to pay Derek Carr top 5 NFL quarterback money. That makes absolutely zero sense. Why would you go into a rebuilding mode paying big-time quarterback dollars to a guy to waste away on a bad team? It just doesn't make any sense. When you're rebuilding, you want to rebuild around a young quarterback, specifically one that you can get on a rookie-scale contract for salary cap purposes for the next 4 to 5 seasons. You have already went past that time frame with Derek Carr. There is no reason for Derek Carr to continue to be an Oakland Raider, and it's that simple. If there is a trade market for him, and I'm sure there could be teams like Jacksonville, Giants, somebody else maybe thrown into the mix like the Bengals, there would be teams that would be interested in Derek Carr, and if you could get a 2nd and a 3rd round pick, or a 2nd round pick this year, a 3rd round pick, or 2nd round pick next year, you got to take that deal if you're Raiders. Get a ton of that cap space back. Get a young quarterback to build around and truly start the rebuild over. You're already in rebuild mode. You might as well go all the way. If you dealt Khalil Mack because your defense was going to be bad anyways and your team was going to be bad anyways was your thought, then why not trade the inferior player away in Derek Carr, who you actually did previously pay a lot more money? Seems logical to me. But when I look at it, Kyler Murray, it'll be really interesting to see in the months to come if he's truly fully committed to football, if he is going to be a football-only guy. Our team's going to be concerned about the lack of overall experience as a starting quarterback at the college level. Are they going to be concerned with his height, his commitment to the game? There will be concerns, but there is definitely a lot of upside there based off of what you see on the film. It definitely is. The next probably notable surprise is Daniel Jones being the 2nd quarterback off the board, going number 10 to Denver instead of Drew Lock, which I had happen in previous mock drafts. And the reasoning for this is very simple. Some teams are going to compare him to Carson Wentz, and I might even compare him as a slightly lesser version of a Carson Wentz. But when you look at him, for a lot of these NFL general managers, he ticks a lot of boxes. He's 6'5". Check. White. Double, triple dog. Check. Yeah. more traditional prototype passer in his build and his mechanics. Oh, absolutely! Sneaky athletic. That son of a bitch is so sneaky athletic. If he was a wrestler, they'd call him the Repo Man. Oh, baby! I wouldn't be surprised to see Daniel Jones to climb up the boards as the draft process goes along. Maybe over somebody like a Dwayne Haskins, which seems a little bit insane to me, but hey, stranger things have happened. Which leaves Dwayne Haskins to fall a little bit to pick 15 to the Washington Redskins. And I think part of the reason you could see a slight drop in Haskins, but I could be totally wrong, it's still very early in the process here, is Haskins, again, doesn't have a lot of experience. He's not super mobile, at least naturally. He has adequate arm strength, but it's not special. His accuracy is good, but not special. To me, the most special thing about him is his field vision and his ability to use his eyes to move through his progressions and move safeties and so forth. I feel like for a guy with only 1 year of starting experience, his field vision is actually next level. It's perhaps his best trait. But I wouldn't be surprised to see where he might go all the way up to Oakland at 4, or he might drop even past the Redskins at pick 15. Any one of those possibilities could happen. Looking at other things that might surprise you a little bit with this mock, DK Metcalf going 7 to the Jaguars. I don't know that I'm sold that a guy like Metcalf coming off of a neck injury would be a top 10 pick. But again, as I've talked about in previous mocks when talking about this, you look at certain positions, knowing the defensive line class is really strong and solid this year, it could lead to some of those notable defensive line prospects dropping, and in the process, other positions being reached on, such as wide receivers, such as the offensive line, and so forth. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens again. You'll probably notice some notable names being left off of this mock draft, and it's just kind of the way it worked out with guys like Drew Lock not being in the first round, Jeffrey Simmons not being in the first round. You know, it'll happen. It's probably going to happen. You'll have notable guys that drop out of round 1, so expect it. But anyways, you can check out my mock down below and let me know what you think of it. I'm out.